You are now listening to
The Just Jeff Podcast.
Today, we have one of my most favorite in-laws in the whole world. Probably my favorite in-law. It's really like my cousin. Cause we just gonna kick Denise out. You know what I mean?
We can't keep killing out. We can't keep killing out now.
All right, you're right. So we got my favorite cousin-in-law, Keisha.
Hey.
And and I had to kind of hunt Keisha down a little bit so she could share her story, which I think is a great and amazing story, especially seeing the person that she is. With some people, because I think it's a good motivational story for even for herself and for a lot of people who have uh this what's is it called a disease?
Well, yes, it's called an autoimmune disorder disease.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
All right. So what was this last year when this happened?
Well, I started dealing with it. I started having symptoms in 2017.
Really?
Started having small symptoms, yeah. And it
Okay.
got really aggressive in 2019.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's when I was off work and back in the hospital, different doctors and things like that in 2019.
Okay. All right.
So,
So, before we put the name to it, uh, Keisha just happened to be, unfortunately diagnosed with lupus. What year did they officially diagnose you?
they officially diagnosed me with lupus, and it was November 2019.
November 2019.
Yeah, yeah,
So
2019.
So I know it's a lot of people that deal with lupus. Like I have a friend of mine. She's an older woman. I think her and a couple of her sisters both had both have lupus. Well, I think it was actually three of them. But you to me yours was a lot different. I know a lot of people deal with lupus, but yours was a lot different. And the main thing that was different, for me just being on the outside looking in, was they were having a problem diagnosing you with lupus. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they thought you had a couple different disorders before they finally diagnosed you.
Yeah, the first one was fibromyalgia, is what they put on it at first, but they was like when my hair and things like that started falling out and the irritation with my fingertips and the skin rashes and things like that. Also, I was running temps a lot, you know what I'm saying? Then they was like, no, that's not fibromyalgia. They were like, it's something else, you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
so they sent me to different other doctors, because I became anemic. I couldn't keep my blood pressure wouldn't stay up. My blood pressure was always low. Um, I just had so many different things going on. They was like, no, it's not fibromyalgia. If it's fibromyalgia, it's something else attached to it. So, because I had a lot going on. I used to get fever blisters. That was something I never had. I used to get them all around under my chin. Dry mouth, dry eyes. I used to get rashes all behind my ears. At one point, when my hair started coming out, I had hair nowhere. My hair, except for my eyelash, that's the only place that the hair continued to grow. My hair came out on everywhere the hair grows. I had none. So some of the stuff had perks to it, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, and then I lost how fast I lost weight. Like fibromyalgia doesn't cause you to lose weight like that. Like I said, I lost 85 pounds. You know, um, what else was going on? Like the swelling of my knuckles, that was a problem. It was like all those things were not. Some of the things with fibromyalgia, but a lot of it wasn't. So when I started getting the mouth sore, they said that wasn't anything with fibromyalgia. You know what I'm saying? But I just started doing a lot of research, and then I went to They end up sending me to a blood specialist. The blood specialist, the one who diagnosed me with it, because I don't know what kind of test he ran or whatever, but he was the one who diagnosed me with lupus. You know what I'm saying? The other doctors, they couldn't find anything. Um, and it was scary at first, because like it's scary when today you can basically do for yourself, and then tomorrow all that is taken away from you. Like I couldn't walk long in stores. I had to ride on the carts, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just so painful to do anything. I couldn't stand for clothes to be on my skin. It was so much pain just for clothes being on your skin. Like, and it was a lot to deal with, It was a lot to
Yeah.
deal with. So I
And
had a real good support team. Everybody that going through any kind of illness need a support team. If it's just somebody say, we gonna figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Or either I'm gonna be here regardless of how long you need me. Everybody needs a support team.
right. What
Hmm.
was that what was that first real day like, when you kind of realize like, hey, some is really, really wrong. What was that first day like?
The first day is when I like I say, the first day I was like, something is really wrong, because when I started getting the rashes, you know what I'm saying? I was like, something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And and I was like, well, maybe I'm getting sunburned. That's what I started thinking. I was like, well, maybe it's just sunburn. But I'm like, I've never been a person that can, like, I could literally like walk out my house, and if my car is not parked under the carport, just right at the edge of the carport, from my house to in my car, I would be burnt. Like the next day, skin peeling. I was like, something is not right. So I went to my PCP, and this particular day, I'm feeling insecure because I'm looking sick, hair out, falling out. So this particular day, I like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the doctor. I'm gonna do like I normally do, make myself look cute. So I had on me a little halter shirt. I went to the doctor, and as soon as he came in there and he saw me, he was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, "I'm so sorry." He was like, "I didn't know you was going through all this." He said, "I never knew you was going through this." He's like, "And I'm sorry, because when I first came here, it was like he was kind of dismissing me. It was like, we can't find anything, and that really hurt me, because I was like, something is wrong, and I know my body, but these doctors are dismissing me. You know what I'm saying?" And I came that day. I mean, skin was just blistered up everywhere, all in my face. And that's when he said something is wrong. And he was like, I'm gonna send you to every specialist that I know of. You know what I'm saying? He's like, because you're showing signs of a person with lupus. You know what I'm saying? And when he said lupus, that freaked me out, because I wasn't educated on lupus, but the fact that growing up as a kid, if you had lupus, you know what I'm saying, it was just scary. You know what I'm saying? And so my mind reverted back to just like, okay, this is something serious. It's scary. You know what I'm saying? And that really changed the game for me when he saw I had all the rashes and things like that everywhere.
Right, right. So, I kind of agree with you, right? It's mainly like a lot of people have lupus, and it's a lot of people that downplay it. But at the end of the day, it's a terminal illness, so lupus, it can take you away from here. So, you get a lot of people that say, "Oh man, all you gotta do is smoke some weed, and to ease the pain, and it's okay." But see, like when I found out about you in your case, it was like scary, like it was just like too much. I'm like, man, why is it doing that like that? Like it didn't make sense to me.
And
And
I felt the exact same way, I really did, because I was scared. Like I was like, and then and what really makes you scared is when people that you love, or people that know you, and they see how you deteriorate. So I was blessed to have people who didn't be like, dang, Keisha, you look sick. You know what I'm saying? And because I was insecure about it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, when I look in the mirror, all I see is skin and bone. Like, I mean, just loose skin, no meat or anything. And so, to me, my eyes saw a person who was walking and was just literally deteriorating in front of my eyes. You know what I'm saying? And I would thank God that the people that was around me every day didn't point that out. They were like, Keisha, you look okay. You know what I'm saying? You look okay. But later on, when I started getting better, they were like, yeah. They were like, I'm glad you feeling better. They were like, sister, we were scared because you look
Mhm.
like you was basically walking dead. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm just glad they didn't tell me that because I was struggling mentally with my appearance on how I look. Like I don't mind that when you look sick to yourself, it plays a lot on your mental. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. So would you say anybody who's in your situation, like whoever their support system is, they need to, don't tell them how bad it really is, but something positive to kind of motivate them.
They need something positive, and you also got to remind who you're dealing with too, because some people I learned that some people take the disease and they run with it to the left. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I didn't want a pity party. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody down like not telling me to get my ass up and I'm sorry, but not telling me to get up, you know what I'm saying, and do something
Mhm.
for myself. I didn't need that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That would have really tore me down if they was allowing me to be handicapped. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you have to know who that person is that you're dealing with. But if you got somebody who just wanna, okay, this gonna kill me, I'm just gonna lay around, oh well, then you might, you know what I'm saying? You can say all the encouraging words you want to, but they got to find that light within them. Like, this not gonna win. I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So so after going through, all the symptoms, that you were having, and you finally got diagnosed, and you felt like you got the right diagnosis on this time. What in your mind, what's the next step? Is it like, okay, I'm gonna research, I'm gonna find out what I can do on my end to better myself, or do you just depend on the doctors to kind of tell you how to go about it?
Well, I found things. I did a lot of research. I went to the library. I read books. I read on things on foods. I read on different type of food that helps with information. I read on foods to eat, foods not to eat. I read on food that can cause your brain to have brain fog. You know what I'm saying? I just read on things that natural things. You know what I'm saying? And that basically helped me because I knew I was a person who can't take medicine like that. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
can't take meds, and I was on 11 different prescriptions. I'm down now. I still have four that I take. Is one of them that if I go a while without taking it, I get a little more flares than I want, but I still don't take it. Once my stuff mellow off, I stop taking it. You know what I'm saying? So I start eating healthy and exercise and making sure I drink water and I eliminate sweets and things like that.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that Trick Daddy is, maybe somebody, he's a celebrity that's
Hmm.
everybody kind of knows has lupus. And I remember seeing an interview that he did maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even four. And he was like, he went to the doctor and they told him he had lupus. They gave him, I think he said 11, 12, maybe even 14 prescriptions, one
Uh-huh.
for his liver, for his kidney, and, all that. And he was like, I went to the doctor. They told me I got lupus. Gave me all these prescriptions. He said, I'm not gonna do any of them. He said, I'm gonna self-medicate. If I'm gonna die from lupus instead of all those pills.
Meds.
Yeah.
I
So
felt the same way because one med they put me on, and I was taking it like I was prescribed. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, I ended up on the never had asthma, or
mhm,
I ended up waking up where I couldn't breathe at night. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is going on? Well, those weren't the meds; those the side effects. The side effects that it'll cause you to have what was it,
shortness of breath.
sinusitis, your lungs and stuff will get filled
Yeah.
up with mucus and shortness of breath. So when they put me on that asthma pump, I was like, now goddamn, now I got lupus and you want to put me on an asthma pump too? I can't even walk down a flight of stairs without I'm winded. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So they took me off of that. And once I realized, okay, so you want me to try something else? I was
mhm.
like, uh-uh. I was like, uh-uh. And they thought I was being difficult because I went to one of my doctors and I was like, look, I'm tired of being a guinea pig. You know what I'm saying? I said, I feel like y'all just putting like prescribing me stuff for me to go home and try. If I don't die, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But I said
Right.
the meds ain't doing anything for me. But there was no doctor at that time that was telling me to change your eating habits. You know what I'm saying? Or exercise, drink plenty of water. You know, it's the same stuff they tell you to do to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nobody telling me that. So I started following other doctors. Now, like I said, I can't think of her name right now, but she's a doctor I follow on Instagram. And
Mhm.
like I say, she has lupus, but she has been in remission for she said 15 years. And basically all she did was change her eating habits, walk, and research foods that feed the body. You know what I'm saying? And foods that um eliminate foods like all that processed food and stuff that we really don't need to eat anyway. And she was like, a lot of the stuff that we eat, what causes cancer and lupus and all the other disease that you have, you know what I'm saying? The stuff
Yeah.
that they make and that we eat, you know what I'm saying? We think it's fast food, but actually it's fast food for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of disease, any kind of
Mhm.
illness you have, certain foods are flared up. Any kind.
Right, right.
I don't care if you are diabetic. I don't care. I really don't care what it is. But any kind of illness, what you eat will flare it up.
Right. So let me ask you this then. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like the medical field is somewhat of a scam, somewhat.
I do too.
And it's mainly because of this. If you go to the doctor, I think a nurse or something, yeah, I think it was a nurse told me this. All they know is how to fix you with prescriptions. But I don't know if anybody's ever noticed when you go to a doctor, they're gonna give you a good scenario and a bad scenario. They're gonna say, "Hey, it could go this way, or it could go this way." They don't know, but
Right.
but they gonna give you both scenarios because it's gonna go one of them ways more than likely. But they don't know, so it's like kind of like I worked with a lady. She said her brother had cancer, and he never took any of the medicine, never did chemo, none of that. Said all he did was smoke weed, and he beat it. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like it was pretty much almost unbelievable, to
But
me.
if you do research, majority of the people who do chemo with cancer, they don't live that long versus the ones who choose not to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, cause even with lupus, I had got so sick they was telling me that if I didn't get my blood levels up and all that stuff, that I was gonna have to do chemo. From my understanding of research, my chemo wasn't like cancer patient chemo, but
Mhm.
I still would experience hair loss and things like that. And so that freaked me out. Cause chemo, when people say chemo, you automatically thinking, okay, you sick. So when
Right.
they told me that, I said, whatever it is I got to do not to do chemo, that's what I'm gonna do. So I got in the gym. Like when I started off in the gym, I was on like the little bike where you sit down and you roll your hand and your feet. I
Mhm.
started off on that. I could only do 3 minutes. I was in so much pain, 3 minutes. And I went every day. I was like, okay, if I do 3 minutes a day, tomorrow I'm doing 3.5 minutes. The next
Mhm.
day I'm doing 4 minutes. And I worked my way all the way up until I could do 25 minutes. Once I was able to do 25 minutes, I was like, okay, let me try walking on the treadmill because I couldn't walk. You know what I'm saying? Walking was painful for me. I couldn't walk long distance. I started walking. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 5 minutes a day. Started walking. And I walked 5 minutes. So, and my boyfriend, he helped me out a lot. He said, he was like, Mo, he said, you're gonna have to lift some weights. He said, your body had to have muscle. He said, just like you going through physical therapy, because I was gonna have to do physical therapy. I was trying to do everything I could do as much as I could do on my own. And
Right.
so we started out lifting weights. I started off with little 3 pound weights. You know what I'm saying? Lifting my arms and doing things I couldn't do. And I kept on doing it until I progressed up further and further and further. And then once I'm noticing that I'm doing this, I'm looking better. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to do things I couldn't do for myself. You know what I'm saying? And that motivated me to keep on going,
Right.
you know. And it still motivates me to this day. I have days now where I flare up in certain areas and I be in a lot of pain. I'm like, okay, I've been neglecting this part of my body. So that means when I go to the gym, you gotta start back working that area.
Why do you agree that the medical field is like a big scam?
because they push that crap on you,
Mm,
and some of those meds that I was prescribed are expensive. I had one that was $238 a month. I got it filled one time, and I was like, I'm not paying $238 a month for no pill that I don't even know if it's really even working. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. You
mm,
know, it's a the medicine part of the medical field. I mean, it is expensive. I had another med that is what $58 along with the 200 and some dollar med, plus
mm.
all the small ones. Like on meds alone, just the meds, not even my medical bills. On meds alone a month, I was spending about $400 on meds.
Right, and that was all 11 of them.
That was all 11 of them. Yes,
So yeah, that's kind of tough. So not only you dealing with the diagnosis, now you got to pay 400. You got to pay a car note pretty much
yes,
for some
yes.
medicine that's gonna make you sick.
That might heal me, or as they say, might what was
Yeah.
the word? They didn't say heal, but what was the word? I can't think of the word they said, but it wasn't heal.
Mhm.
Stabilize it. That's what it was. Stabilize my condition.
Did you see like while you going through it? I always tell people it's hard to realize something when you living in that moment. But could you see the effects like it was having on your kids or maybe your boyfriend?
Yes, yes. Like, and one of the things that gave me that motivation, because at the time Mikhail was maybe about 15 when I couldn't do things like basic things like I couldn't pull my pants up. I couldn't button them. I couldn't zip them. I had to have help with someone help me put my clothes on. Like, and he used to get up with me in the morning, and like it broke my heart for him to have to help me. But also it touched my heart because he helped me and was willing to help and then complain about it. And like my oldest daughter, she kind of got real depressed because she was like they wasn't used to seeing me like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, Kira's kind of sensitive. I mean, I ain't gonna say kind of sensitive. She's more caring than the rest of them.
Mhm.
Like she noticed things. She know that if I'm not strong, she felt that. But they embrace it. I think they embrace it really well. My older daughter,
Mhm.
she's like, "Well, Mom, I knew you was gonna beat it anyway." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yeah, I want to do my best." You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I want to live as long as possible. As
Right.
long as I have, if I can help do what I need to do to live longer, I'm going to do that.
After you got diagnosed, I think it was a little time after, before I seen you after that. But
Hmm.
I remember seeing you in your skin was kind of it was like uneven, like the color of it,
Hmm.
and it kind of like in your face and on your arms and that type of stuff. But when you look in the mirror now, do you feel proud of yourself now?
I do. I feel very proud. I do.
Yeah,
You know, because I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? I really am.
yeah,
Because it took, like I said, some days you get, and I still battle some days with depression. You know what I'm saying? But then I have to be like, you know what? I have to be thankful. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I was like, no, I'm not gonna go in this depressed state because I'm thankful because I'm way better than what I was 2 years ago. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I'm thankful for that.
Hmm. All right, so just like how you're saying, you're thankful because you're a lot further than you were 2 years ago. But do you also pat yourself on the back though?
Yeah, I
All
sure do. I sure do.
right, I got you. I got you. Well,
Yeah.
I just asked that because I mean, I mean, of course, you have the spiritual side of it. That's kind of got to be on your side, but at the same time, you got to appreciate yourself too. You know what I mean? Because me knowing you, and I know you. You're a little bit of a busybody. You got a couple different hustles. It's it's hard to hear that. Hey, I can't come down there because I can't ride in the car that long, or I can't do hair because my hands, or I can't stand up that long. So it was real. It was rough for me just hearing it. And now I'm gonna give you a little this some insider information. I remember I told Denise, And keep in mind that Keisha is my cousin-in-law, you know. So I remember telling Denise, which is my wife, her cousin, I was like, listen, if something happened to Keisha, I'm gonna be hurt. I'll be real hurt about it. So I'm just like, I hope she okay, whatever. And it was just like that's just a little inside information. I know Denise probably never told you that, but yeah,
I know, cause I love you too, cuz I do.
hey,
You
I
know what I'm saying?
appreciate
And I know that everybody that know me, that really, really know me, you know what I'm
it.
saying? They felt bad for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And I love that y'all care about me like that, but I'm glad that y'all didn't baby me. You know what I'm saying? Or be like, oh, like or give me that, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like and I appreciate that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate that because it kept me being strong, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you get some people that get emotional like that, it be like, oh my God, it's I'm already dealing with stuff. I just need you to be like, you got this, Keisha, you got this. Come on, we you got this, and just sometimes that's what you need, you
Mhm.
know, and that's why
But
I don't mind telling people what I've been through if people ask.
right, right. One thing that Denise told me, I didn't really realize it at the moment, but when we came up there and after we left, you know how you do when you in a relationship, you talk, when you leave.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was like, "You was being real affectionate with Keisha." I was like, "What? What you talking about?" She was like, "Yeah, you kept rubbing on her hair, rubbing on her waist." I'm like, "I ain't seen that in a long time, man." You know what I
And
mean?
when I got sick, I didn't have no hair like that before I got sick. Look, that was one of the perks though. Look, I had them and I had that Indian hair, so that not Indian, but Native American ways. Look, since I'm doing better, that hair came right back to its natural form.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, so it's kind of like you watched that kid out. We was talking about you had in your hair.
Yeah, yeah, that natural
Yeah.
kid. Oh yeah.
So look, so what was one thing that you may have found out doing your research, or just in your journey of getting better? What was one thing that you found out about lupus that a lot of people may not know about it outside of the food that you name?
I found out that it's something that, like I say, you can't cure it. You know what I'm saying? But you can go in remission where you can
Mhm,
live a normal life. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And that was something I didn't know. You
mhm.
know, and when I found out that you can go in remission and live a normal life, oh, that's what I was reaching for. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So that
right.
was something I didn't know. I just thought people who had lupus. I just thought we was always sick, and I also learned there are different type of lupus. I can't think of the name right now, but I knew them
Mhm,
back. And so everybody don't get the skin rashes because it's
mhm.
also a skin lupus. It's a lupus that attacks your organs, and it's a lupus that does your joints and all that. And from my research and from talking to my doctor, I had the complete total package. That's why it did me so bad. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? I had the skin parts of it. I had all of it, and that's one reason why it was so aggressive.
Mhm. So, okay, all right. So that's probably why it was hard to diagnose.
Yeah,
Initially, right? Okay.
yeah.
So, is isn't isn't lupus like genetics?
But well, from most of my research and things, from what I researched, now it is genetics, but also it comes through and it said most people experience the symptoms and things like that, like at a certain age, and they're going through a lot of trauma or dramatic things or
Mhm,
stress and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have symptoms of it as a child, you know what I'm saying? Or either you can have it as a kid, but once you get older, that's when it becomes aggressive because due to life experience and things like that. Because no, as a child, I used to be sick a lot as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But they didn't know what it was, and they never knew what it was. So I done had some symptoms as a child, but we didn't know what it was because they were just mild. You know what I'm saying? Then as I got older, I started having more symptoms, and they were
Mhm,
just mild symptoms until I guess going through a divorce and moving and all that type of stuff, and it just took a toll on me because you still, even when you're going through a divorce, you're still trying to live somewhat of a normal life, especially for your finances and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And never realized the toll that all the trauma that I went through just took on me. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever just really realized that you a walking inspiration to somebody?
You know what? Kira tells me that all the time because some days I be in a mood where I don't want to be bothered. But since I have been sick, I used to be a real people person. Now I be like, look, I really don't want to be bothered. But if someone that hasn't seen me or they ask me questions or things like that, because sometimes people just walk up to me and they be like, oh, I'm just going through so much and blah blah this and blah blah that. And I be like, well, I went through a lot too. I said, and one thing I have learned is that you cannot give up on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I might tell you a little bit about my story. You know what I'm saying? I said I've learned that with this illness, like you know how some people like to have a buddy to go to the gym with and stuff like that. With
Mhm.
this illness, I can't form a buddy because my buddy might not want to go work out. You know what I'm saying? And like you got to find whatever it is about you that you love, the happy moments, and you got to fight for that.
Right, right,
So I don't mind. I don't mind talking to people about anything I've been through, you know what I'm saying, what I do to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because it might motivate somebody. It might help somebody know that, this, I don't have to have this and just deal with this. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I can still do normal things like any other person can.
So let me ask you this then. Seeing the fact I know you, pretty I mean, I didn't know you in your early years, but I've been knowing you for a long time. Let's see what, 16 years. All right.
16 years? Dang.
It's been 16 years. So
Right.
seeing the fact I know you a little bit personally, and I know, everybody go through something. So would you say that lupus is the hardest thing that you've been through in your life?
I thought lupus was. I thought lupus was the hardest thing I had ever been through in life. I really did. I thought it was the hardest
Mhm.
thing because it's nothing like being healthy one day and then the next day, all your health is gone. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you're still in your 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. The
Right.
hardest. If you want to talk about something that's been hard, but I don't know. I had a panic attack when my baby girl went off to the Navy. Now that was I thought lupus was nothing compared to the panic attack I had, and that was because I had put my own fears in my head about
Mhm.
stories I heard about women going off to the Navy and stuff. But that was right up there with lupus though, her going off to the Navy. But I don't be worried about it now because she okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then when I went through that little anxiety stage, like it caused my lupus to flare up. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, but
So like you woke up the next day in pain, or
I woke up in pain. I couldn't walk on my feet. My knuckles were swollen and everything. Like just that day, that experience did me like that, where I couldn't
Mhm.
even use my hands. You know what I'm saying? And like you'll be surprised how now I can open up a bottle of water. Like this is something I couldn't do. I couldn't unscrew a bottle of water. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for me. Like I couldn't use the regular dental floss. Like it was a lot of things I could not, a lot of simple things that people think are simple. I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And when I have stressful moments like that, it flares up my loop. You know what I'm saying? So I have to learn ways to calm my brain down, if
right?
that makes sense.
So do you think self-medicating is one of the best ways to deal with lupus?
I think so.
Right. So how long was you off work whenever it first really got bad?
Thank God to the pandemic, I was at work a while, but in between that, I miss like 2 or 3 weeks off work, you know what I'm saying? Because I would try to go back. If I felt that, I'll go back. And, and hair was something that was part of my extra income. That was one I couldn't go back to because I hadn't strengthened my body enough
Mm,
to go back. You know what I'm saying? Then
right,
like sometimes I be nervous about venturing into hair again too, because in my brain it tricks me sometimes. Be like, okay, if you start back doing hair, then you're gonna go through the steps and you can't be reliable. You know what I'm saying? But that's a lie because I'm gonna get back and doing hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm working my way back, but
right,
it still plays a part on my mental though. The fact that I'm like, okay, if I do hair today, you know what I'm saying? What if I make an appointment and then I can't do hair tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? So that
mhm,
kind of plays on me too. But I be like, the hair field got so many things that I can do. I don't have to stand up and do hair all day. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta aim for something and just go for it. You know what I'm saying?
right. So, for those who may not know, that was your bread and butter before lupus was
Right,
hair.
right.
Didn't you have your own didn't you have your own business doing hair?
Yeah, I did. I did before then, but I moved up here in the shop. So I still work
Mhm.
for myself, but I was in someone else's shop.
Right, right. So, but that's just something that you just had to put down after after you start getting sick and got
Yeah.
diagnosed, right? All right, so I
And
got
it
you.
wasn't the part about the standing up as far as doing hair. It was the part I couldn't use my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like it was painful to even shampoo someone's hair. You know what I'm saying? As far
Mhm.
as my hand usage. But
Right. Yeah, I got you. So, so now you're a walking inspiration. So, what's your motivation on the day to day now? Just getting better, getting healthier.
they're just getting as healthy as I possibly can so I can make my next hustle move.
I heard you. Well, look, Keisha, I know you got some other stuff to do, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do appreciate you for sitting down with me, and, let me kind of pick at you about some serious stuff because like I say, you're pretty much a walking resource. You're a walking motivational tool. Especially because I know you and I know your personality, and I seen you go down for a little bit, but then I seen you get back up and get your shine on. Now you back talking trash, like you used to. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I felt like you were a great guest, excuse me, just
Thank
because
you,
of that.
thank you, thank you,
So
thank
yeah.
you.
So is
And I'm
it
gonna keep got these big guns up. I ain't gonna put them on there.
also is there anything else you want to say before we end it?
Well, I just say, I mean, with life come experiences. They might be difficult, they might be easy, but whatever it is, you got to keep pushing forward.
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
All right, I got you. Oh, hold on. What do some people what do the old school people say? When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
learned to make lemonade with honey and not sugar now.
Oh yeah, hey, cause it's healthier, right?
Yes, it's healthier and it
Oh,
does
okay.
not cause inflammation.
Okay, all right, I got you. Well, look, hey, Keisha, I appreciate you for coming and sitting down with me though. And
Yeah, anytime,
hey, maybe we
anytime.
can have you back another day, talk about some other stuff.
Hey, I'll do it.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All
I,
right. Good night.
all right, to our viewers and listeners, we out.